Hi, in this video we're going to go through drop-down dependent combo boxes. So ordinarily you would use data validation for dependent drop-downs. However, if you do want to use a combo box, so for example you need the arrow to be visible, as in this example here, to make it a bit easier for users, then this is how you would do that. Unfortunately, it's nowhere near as straightforward as some data validation lists, but we're going to walk through it and hopefully get you up and running. So in this example here, I've put two combo boxes and all the data we're going to use to get what we need. So in this instance, we've gone for some places in the UK and places in the US. So at the moment, I've selected the UK, and my second drop down gives me Brighton, Edinburgh and London. If I change that to the US, my second drop down gives me Virginia, New York and Boston. So these choices are completely dependent on the information we're going to make the boxes reference, and we're going to be using this information here as the magic key to it, our index formula, and this information here, which doesn't, it's not doing anything, it's just pure plain text information, and our headings over here for our countries. So first of all, we're going to create our combo boxes by going to our developer tab. We're going to insert, we're going to select the second icon on form control, and we're just going to draw our boxes. And just to make sure they're the same size, just copy and paste for our second one. Okay, so first things first, our country heading. So we're going to go with UK and US. So this is our first piece of reference information. So at the moment we're not going to do anything fancy with that, but we want the UK and US to appear in our currently empty drop down on our first combo box. So we're going to right click our first combo box, we're going to go format control, and we're going to, in input range, select UK and US via the arrows there. As you can see, it already puts the absolute requirements into the input range for us. And what we also want to do is in cell link, pick a random cell. So let's just use, for ease, let's try and keep it similar to the one above, an example. So let's select this one here. So we're going to go L17. Okay. Right, what we're going to do is change the 8 to a 2, because we've only got two selections in our countries, UK and US. So I'm going to do OK and click off. And there we have our UK and US drop down. Now, we referenced our L17 as well as our cell link. So when we select UK, it gives us a 1, and US, it gives us a 2. Now with combo boxes, it won't give you the actual name, which is why we're going to have to follow on to our next step in a moment. It will give you the number for where your selection sits in the hierarchy, in the list it was given. So UK is at number 1 and US is at number 2. But at the moment, even if we select the UK and we got a 1 here, that still doesn't impact our second combo box. So what we're going to need to do is use this 1 here to impact the second combo box. Okay, so let's start putting our data together. So if we're going to go with UK, we're going to go Brighton, Brighton, Edinburgh, and we're going to go London. And then the next column along, we're going to go US, Virginia, New York, and Boston. Apologies if any of those, I assume Virginia's in the US, but my geography of the US is not great, but for this example, hopefully it's correct. So this is information that we want to appear in our second combo box. Now to make sure that happens, we need to use this formula up here, which is what we're going to do. And as you can see, this formula references all of this information. Okay, so let's go ahead and do it. So we're going to go into another clear column. We're going to go equals, index, open bracket, and our array in this instance is going to be all information here. So we're going to highlight that. I'm going to do a double comma because we want it to ignore the row number, but we do want it to reference where this one is. Here, our L17, and then we're going to close the bracket and hit enter. Now, as you can see, that brings all that information that's under UK over here. And if we click off, we can see at the moment this is still blank. However, if we change UK to US, you can see this information changes with it. So our information here is now completely dependent on this combo. Right, so how do we get this information that we can now control with our first combo box into the second? What we're going to do is we're going to right click on our second combo box, go back to format control, and then hit our arrow on input range, and we're going to select that information there. Again, it's all absolute, as you can see, that's already done for you. And then we're going to go and change that 8 to a 3 because we only have 3 selections, and we're going to go OK. Click off. As you can see, we've got our information coming up. So if we change that to US, we can see the reference here is pulling Virginia, New York and Boston. Change it back to UK, pulls through Brighton, Edinburgh and London. Now this process will work regardless of whether the information is on the same sheet or a second sheet. But that's it. That's how you do a drop-down dependent combo box. So the only other thing just to mention is obviously if you do it on the same sheet, you might want to hide this information in some form because obviously it's a little untidy. So ideally you want to put it on a second sheet. But for now, that is it.